What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Today we're having a look at my man V2 Legend Brooke. This is a character that I've been wanting for a pretty long time, and I felt like Halloween was a really good place to release a V2 Brooke, but oddly enough they decided to do it this time around, which is cool though, because this Brooke is actually a pretty interesting unit. Though I do feel like this character really helps when you run him in a hybrid sense, because by himself he doesn't really provide that much. He's going to be a fantastic crewmate on a lot of teams, though there are still some issues that I have with this unit. But I guess without further ado, let's jump into it, because we've got a lot to talk about. You know, we've had a lot of showcases recently. We had one with Kuzan, we had X Drake, and of course we have this guy right here, my man Brooke. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So Brooke's captain ability will give everyone -1 cooldown at the start of the quest, and then he only boosts the attack of free spirit characters, which is where one of the big flaws of this character really comes into shine. Only boosting free spirit is a bit of an odd choice, considering a lot of characters that, you know, are focused on being a super class unit will have at least the ability to provide some type of boost to all other characters. But no, Brooke only will boost free spirit characters. And that multiplier is a 4.5 times boost, and he also gives them a 1.3 HP in recovery boost, which you cannot disregard. 1.3 recovery is pretty substantial. If you have a recovery slot, you're healing for a pretty substantial amount of recovery back. Now, if you do fall below 30% health, his captain ability will be upgraded, where he will now provide a 5 times boost instead, and also make quick recovery tandem slots beneficial as well. And then, of course, on the bottom half of the combat screen, you can see that he actually has a new icon attached to him, and that will state that, you know, one instance during the adventure, he can prevent you from dying. That's a really cool effect that he has. It's a little bit different to V1 Brooke, and I understand why they didn't give him the V1 Brooke mechanic, because that mechanic in and of itself is just inherently broken, considering the fact that when you die and you revive, all of your debuffs are removed, which means that you can kind of cheese content in such a way where you can remove normal attacks only on your side of the field to do really crazy things. So I kind of understand why they didn't go down that route, but the really cool thing about this resilience, it's really nice. It allows you to tank death hits, and just any time that you would die, that allows you to just prevent yourself from dying. I mean, it is what it is, right? It's a pretty awesome effect to have, and we do showcase that off in the next clip here against the Arena Luffy, because the thing about that Zoro fight on stage 4 is that when you reach that fight, if you do not delay him, you're going to die. He does like an incredible amount of damage to your team, but luckily we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to bring a delayer if we don't need it, because we can use the effect of Brooke's captain ability to just prevent ourselves from dying, which is obviously fantastic. When you do use him as a captain though, you do get access to super class, and he is a free spirit super class, which obviously is one of the most significant components of this unit. Being able to provide a permanent stat increase to free spirit characters is incredible. Free spirit being probably the best, if not one of the best classes in the game. And his super class special is pretty odd. It does require you to have one of the Straw Hats on your team or be below 30% health. So at least there is like an alternate condition in order for you to actually get the boost, which is actually pretty good. But the actual effect itself will give the effect of increasing the duration of any damage reduction effect by 1 turn, and it will also increase the buff of a chain effect by plus 0.5, and then you get the super free spirit effect. This particular super type or super class special is pretty strange. It obviously works well with the unit, with what he aims to do, but in a lot of situations, it's more of like a win more type of situation. It doesn't help you get out of a bind. It really is just like, oh, I'm about to do some damage. His super type special will just allow you to get a little bit more damage output, and you can see in this little clip here, Brooke is going to be able to prevent us from dying for 1 turn, so thank you very much, Brooke, for that. And then we can move on to his special ability. His special ability is pretty good, but I do believe that this kind of effect is really going to be used more as a sub rather than him being used as a captain. Maybe you only will use him as a captain if you really need the additional stats via superclass. But his special will reduce the characters, or all free spirit characters, cooldowns by 1. And then he also will give free spirit characters 1000 base attack for 1 turn, and also gives you a 1.6 chain boost for 1 turn. So that's pretty nice. Cooldown, base attack, and a chain boost. And it is the best chain boost in the game, mind you. There is an additional effect. If you're below 30% health, you change all slots, including block, into matching, and a 95% damage reduction for 1 turn. So that is a really good effect. In my opinion though, I believe that this effect should have always been permanently active. Now, I don't think it's that far of a stretch to say that we have some pretty crazy specials in the game right now. And I think that if you have a special ability like this, I do not understand why the orb change is limited to being below 30% health. I mean, minimum, the orb change should have been in the base special. And then if you're below 30%, then you get the damage reduction. I think that makes a lot of sense. But for some reason, they decided to lock the orb change behind the health condition. Now, that's probably the biggest gripe that I have with this unit, because if you don't fall below that threshold and you really need him to get matching slots, and that really is a bit of a hassle, honestly. So I'm not really the biggest fan of that in particular, but I mean, the rest of the kit, if you get all of this to be activated, it is incredibly strong. And if you are using him as a captain and you use that super type special, his chain boost goes to a 2.1 chain boost. I mean, that's pretty incredible to think about, right? And you can stack that with some other really powerful effects. So it is a good special, but there is also another really bad thing about it is that he doesn't have a crewmate effect to resist special reverse. So he has a cooldown reducing special that doesn't resist special reverse. Another big gripe that I have. That really should have been updated so that, because one of his sailor effects is resisting paralysis, and the other one is a free spirit 100 base stat boost to all of their stats. I think the base stat boost, I don't really think it really doesn't really matter. Like, honestly, it really doesn't matter, and completely resisting paralysis on themselves doesn't help that much. It is terrible. I mean, if that was 1 turn of paralysis removed for the whole team, I would have liked it a lot more. But the fact that he doesn't resist special reverse is a pretty big problem. So when you really think about it, in terms of the damage increase that he provides the best chain boost in the game. He also provides a base attack boost. So that is the damage increasing effects that you are getting via Brooke. But remember, his captain ability, you're only boosting free spirit. So that really does lock him into his team builds. So you have to be very careful about what you use. And why I think characters like V2 Odin, for example, are probably going to see a lot more play in terms of mono free spirit captains, or even Yamato, you know, Luffy and the Straw Hats. There's plenty of other options that I would rather use as a free spirit captain rather than Brooke, but Brooke is a really nice touch and is going to be a really nice sub moving forward in a lot of different teams. So with all of that, that is going to wrap up this video today. Thank you very much for watching, and if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
パイレーツに任せとけ。そうだ。